What's happening, people? It's your girl Minna. Welcome back to the channel. Big up to everyone locked in, man. I was gonna say Monday, but it's actually not Monday. It's Wednesday, man. Big up to everyone locked in on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. We always got something to talk about, and it seems like in the last 10 or so days of the transfer window, it seems like transfer talk is heating up for a lot of teams. Manchester United might not be on the receiving end of any good opportunities, but we gotta wait and see, and we're going to talk about all of that. So big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Let me know how you lot are doing below in the chat, what you lot been up to. Did you not watch the Champions League yesterday? Because that Barca Benfica game, boy, that was probably the best game I've watched of the football season so far. Like, I'm not even joking. PSG versus Man City as well tonight, so that should be maybe another entertaining fixture. But we're here to talk about United, guys. We're here to talk about United because, you know United, yeah, I always say it's the gift that's always given. They always give us stuff to talk about. If it's not Ruben Amorim mashing up TVs in the dressing room, making players reportedly cry, I don't know who the players were that cried or reportedly cried. If it's not that, then it's Napoli potentially moving away from the Garnacho deal. All eyes on Karim ADEYEMI from Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea could be the only frontrunners to sign Garnacho if Manchester United do decide to sell him. Man United in decisions about what left wing back to go for. Is it Dorgu? Is it Alvaro Fernandez? If you lot watched him yesterday for Benfica against Barcelona, I think he did well, bar the one chance that he gave away that led to a goal. I actually think he managed to hold his own. And I think he's doing quite well at senior level football with Benfica as well. So that's good. Marcus Rashford could stay at Manchester United. That's another topic that's there. And Ruben Amorim does his pre-game presser ahead of the game tomorrow against Rangers with Harry Maguire. And of course, all the questions were around what he said about the squad being the worst Manchester United squad, about the reports about what happened in the dressing room. Does he regret it? He said no, he doesn't regret what he said. Direct, very, very direct. And it seems like it's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. I seen Jamie Carragher ripping into him. I saw Emmanuel Petit ripping into him on Monday Night Football, saying, you know, this kind of stuff managers shouldn't be saying. And I want to know what you lot think. I want to know what you lot think about what he said about the players in the public eye. He did address it today in the press conference, and he addressed also the reports of him mashing up the dressing room. So we're going to talk about all of that. So big up to everyone locked in. Big up Don, says Queen Minna. Big up everyone in the chat. You lot heard him, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Big up to Yusuf, says Dorgu might be the better profile, but I like Alvaro better from what I have seen. That Barca game was nuts. Honestly, guys, Barcelona this season, I watched quite a lot of Barcelona this season, and it's really weird because in the games you expect them to win, they end up drawing, and then it's the big games where, you know, against Bayern Munich, against the likes of Real Madrid, etc., that they're blowing teams out of the water. Going into this game again against Benfica, I thought out of all the games that were on TV, obviously everybody was probably wanting to watch Atletico versus Bayer Leverkusen. I said this was the game to watch because I knew it was going to be goals galore. There's something about Barcelona, and I might do a video. I should have done a video after yesterday's game, but there's something about Barcelona that the high line that they play, there is goals there to be conceded. Like, and it actually blows my mind, guys. It really blows my mind that Real Madrid have struggled to score against them this season. That's what Real Madrid, that have some of the best forwards in the world, struggled twice to score against them. Now, of course, yesterday's game, we could talk about the fact that Szczesny was just a double agent because, I'm sorry, to knock out your player for one goal, to completely clothesline him, took him out, then to give away a penalty. Some people saying it was a dive, there was not much in it, but it's just stupidity from a goalkeeper, in my opinion. So outside of those mistakes, personally, I do think that Barcelona were all over Benfica. I mean, possession, the stats didn't lie. They had 70-something% possession, so they really gifted the goals to them. But to come back in the way that they did, of course, there was shouts about the penalty at the end, which I think it should have been a penalty, if I'm being honest. But I actually think Barcelona will go to the final, guys. I think Barcelona will go to the final. And the reason why I'm saying that, because I think that whatever big club they come up against in the latter stages of it, I think they're going to blow them out the water. Because my problem with Barcelona is not the big games. It's about the games that they should be winning and they make it difficult for themselves. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Barcelona. We're here to talk about Manchester United. So make sure you lot hit the like button. Make sure you guys get involved in the chat as well. It's the way football is meant to be played, unlike the crap at United. It's entertaining football. Let's be honest. That was entertaining football. That's the kind of football that I think as neutrals you want to watch. I don't know how I would feel if I was a Barcelona fan watching that. I think, my heart would have been in my stomach for half of the game. But it's the kind of game as neutrals, that's what I want to watch, who is it? Spurs and someone early in the season as well in the Premier League where it was just back to, I think it was Liverpool. That's the kind of goals galore. I want to watch football and see goals galore. I watched a bit of Juve's game yesterday against Club Brugge, and Thiago Motta, he's a criminal. I like him, but he's a criminal. I'm so glad that United actually never went for him or even looked in his direction, because how can you draw this many games of football and you're only in January? I think they're on like 15 draws for the season so far. Football is meant to be entertaining. There's meant to, when I watch Premier League, Sky Sports have a YouTube channel where they have just like heritage games like football Barclays games from like the 2000s. When I watch games like that, or the other day I was watching the 2002 World Cup final, and I was like, there's no such thing as tacticos and analysis and that kind of stuff, because it's just vibes. It's just that back then the football was just vibes. Everyone's shooting from everywhere, balls over the top. Obviously there's no VAR, so half the time people are offside but you don't notice it. That is when football's fun. That's when football's fun. But listen, enough of the rants about random stuff. Let's start with the most recent news. And when I say recent, this is literally like in the last hour or so, regarding Napoli's potential move for Alejandro Garnacho. Fabrizio Romano stating that Napoli have now made contact with Borussia Dortmund for Karim ADEYEMI. Karim ADEYEMI has been linked as well to quite a few teams, not just Napoli, but now they are in talks regarding ADEYEMI. Talks with Dortmund have opened about a potential January exit for him, which will directly impact Alejandro Garnacho's future at Manchester United, because it will be one or the other. It won't be both. Fabrizio Romano also reporting that negotiations for Alejandro Garnacho are still on, but there's no formal agreement between Napoli and Manchester United after the first bid. Chelsea are also weighing up a formal proposal. They still haven't decided whether they're sending a formal proposal over to Manchester United. So right now, guys, it seems like the talks could be a little bit stationary. And it's not just Fabrizio Romano that's reporting this. Multiple other reporters are reporting this as well regarding Alejandro Garnacho's future at Manchester United. Sky also reporting earlier today that the reason why Manchester United are pushing for a 60 million plus price tag for Garnacho is because from a PSR perspective, it would allow them to spend about 180 million. And you lot are probably thinking, how the hell does 60 million equal 180 million spend? Because from a PSR perspective, if they buy 3 players, hypothetically speaking, if Man United go out in the window, sign 3 players for 60 million each on 5-year contracts, 60 million divided by 5, well, you guys do the maths, because I'm no mathematician. I think it might, I was going to say it's 15, but it's about, what is it? Is that 12? I've got to actually do the calculations, guys, because my maths is bad. 12, yeah, 12 million. It would be 12 million per player from a PSR perspective in their accounts, which means 3 players, 12 million, 36 million in their books. Now, PSR sounds like a scam. You know what? It's funny because the concept of PSR is to have an equal playing field for all the teams in the league. But equally, the reason why the Premier League implemented the PSR rules is because they wanted owners to invest in their club without taking out of the club. The Glazers ain't going to do that. The Glazers ain't going to do that. You got Nottingham Forest, who are set to make a club record bid for Mateus Cunha, yeah? And of course, their owner, he got money. And obviously, they're pushing for Champions League. So they rightfully so, they should be, bringing in some players in the January window to get that final push. But the purpose of PSR was to stop owners from just taking from clubs and actually pour into the club. Now, I don't like PSR because I think PSR incentivizes the idea of selling academy products. And in the Premier League, I have a thought that if you develop players, if you have an academy system and you develop players and you bring them through, you shouldn't be forced to sell them just to be within the regulations that the league set. You shouldn't. You should sell them because you want to sell them. Like when City sold Cole Palmer, they didn't sell Cole Palmer because they had to be in line with PSR rules. They sold him because Cole Palmer understood that there was no pathway to the first team in terms of being a starter, and he took a risk. he took a risk. He left because he wanted to leave. But now Manchester United find themselves, because of, again, years and years and years of the Glazers kind of running the club the way that they have, they've now turned around and said, well, we have to start selling our academy players. And I don't know if you lot remember, but 2019, 2020 times when United brought Garnacho, they brought Ahmad, they brought Alvaro Fernandez, they brought in Hannibal, they brought in a lot of young players for the academy. I don't know if the concept was for them to go on and sell in the future, or if they genuinely bought these players to develop them into the first team, because there was quite a few players that they brought. And if you look at that actually record of players, it's only Garnacho and Ahmad that remain at the club. Alvaro's gone, and as so is Hannibal Mejbri. I don't like the concept of PSR, but Manchester United find themselves in a situation now where it's they have to reap what they sowed. And I'm not saying that it's INEOS's fault, because like I said, this is years and years of Glazers' financial mismanagement, going out in windows and spending 70, 80, 90 million on players casually. And now they find themselves having to sell academy players. It is unfortunate. But this discourse that I've seen online about Garnacho, and, you know, you can't be in the middle. That's what I realized, because I don't want to see Garnacho go, but I understand why he has to go. But it seems like you have to be either pro Garnacho or anti Garnacho, i.e. you have to want him to leave or you have to want him to stay. People are going as far to say this is going to be like Cole Palmer when he left Man City. This is not going to be remotely the same as Cole Palmer, in my opinion. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But I also don't think that Manchester United should look to sell a player if, and this is a big if, guys, if they're not going to bring another player in. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. United trying to sell the whole team. I don't even think they are, because you still got, guys, Casemiro's still here. Casemiro is still here. Christian Eriksen is still here. Victor Lindelof, very smart guy, gets injured in November or December. Suddenly, he can't leave in January. There's a lot more other players at the team, which I understand why people are annoyed, because everyone's looking at him thinking, how can Garnacho be the first on the selling list? There's how many players that should be sold ahead of him? But he's an asset. They aren't, unfortunately. That's the easiest way to put it. He is an asset. They are not. Casemiro is no longer an asset. If anything, he's weighing them down financially. Whereas you look at Garnacho, doesn't earn a lot of wages. So he's a player that you can sell, you know, paid less than, what was it, 400,000 for him? So you're making heaps of profit on him, which will allow you some room to bring in new players. Now, I'm going to get to it, because my only worry about selling Garnacho is, what if, and this is a big what if, United 3 years, 2.5 years down the line, get a new manager after Ruben Amorim's contract and decide to revert to a back four with wide players. Now we have to go out and buy wide players. And I'm not saying Garnacho is the answer to playing on the wide, but he gives you an option. So my thing that I'm trying to do with this Garnacho situation, I'm trying to look at it from every possible angle. The angles that benefit the club and the angles that might be a disadvantage to the club. That is the most important thing, I think, to look at it. Big up to Fillmore says, Mina, yes, but as long as you're selling any player for profit, it's the same thing. So as long as you're currently not paying off past transfer fees for that current player, it's essentially a profit. That's true. Is that the owners that's clearing the club's debt from his own pocket? Jim can learn a thing or two. Yes, that the Nottingham Forest owner is the one that's doing that. He's got mad money. Don Savage says Garnacho should be going 70 M's minimum. I've seen a lot about this price tag about Garnacho. So we're going to talk about it. Be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. And of course, you get to support the growth of the channel and support me as a content creator. If you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love to the channel. Now, the initial negotiations between Napoli and Manchester United for Garnacho, I think has left a lot of people upset about the price tag. Because Manchester United are looking at, I always said 55 plus should get the job done. 55 plus. But today I saw a report. I can't remember who. Let me double check before I actually get the name. I don't want to get the club's name wrong. I think it was Dortmund. I think it might have been Dortmund. Oh no, Leipzig. I saw a report yesterday that said that RB Leipzig was interested in, or are interested in, Tyler Dibbling from Southampton. Now, this is a name that we've seen, like, it's a name that's been in conversation about if Man United should look at him in the summer. Very young talent, but he's got immense talent, guys. Tyler Dibbling has immense talent. Sky Sports reporting today, this is when my viewpoint on Garnacho changed. Sky Sports reported today that Southampton will not entertain any offers lower than 55 million minimum for Tyler Dibbling. And that made me think, well, and this is not me talking about who's better, Dibbling or Garnacho. This is just putting everything on the table in terms of years of experience at top flight football. Garnacho has over 100 appearances for the club. If Tyler Dibbling can go for 55 million, or that is what they can hold out for, then United should be getting more than that for Garnacho. And again, like I said, guys, it's not me saying Dibbling and Garnacho who's better. It's me saying, when you put everything on the table in terms of as a senior player and the product that you're getting, Garnacho should be a bit more sellable than Dibbling, especially at that price. Now, 55 million is a lot for a team that's sitting rock bottom of the Premier League. That is a lot. So unless they're selling him in the January transfer window, there is no way on earth, come summertime, they will get 55. I shouldn't say no way on earth because it could be a possibility. But 55 million is a lot for a club who in the summer will be relegated back to Championship. Championship, I don't think sell players for that price. I mean, I don't even know was Gyökeres the highest transfer fee from, let me see, from the Championship. Oh, someone called Mike Trezor was the highest in the summer 2024 from Genk to Burnley. He went for 16 million. They don't even be... What? That can't be real. It's Romeo Lavia. Why is this website lying to me? Romeo Lavia was the highest, if you lot remember. Again, Southampton. And about the same price. About 50-something million he went for. Jorginho Rota as well. He went for about 38 million. James Maddison as well went for about 30-something million. So there's no way they're getting 55 million for Tyler Dibbling, in my opinion. There's no way. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. West Ham signed Ward-Prowse for 30 million from relegated Southampton, and he's way better. I just think it's clubs. I think clubs are like overvaluing players. I saw this whole discussion about Garnacho and why should United. I don't know why people are obsessed with the idea of underselling United players. For so long, right? United have overpaid, and that's not any wrongdoing of the selling club. That's a wrongdoing of Manchester United, right? Because we were foolish to pay 72 million for Højlund, 100 million for Anthony, etc., etc. But when you have an asset who's probably, I would actually say, Garnacho is Man United's one of the most sellable assets that they have. You shouldn't value it cheaper. Now, here's a strong point. I don't know why we're not in for Osimhen by offering Garnacho and money. Osimhen, his price tag is around the same price as Garnacho. So why, if United were in for him, there's no need for them to put in money on top of Garnacho. Of course, it's just hypotheticals. Of course, it's just hypotheticals that we actually are going off right now. But in terms of the fee that Napoli originally bidded, because if you lot are not aware, Napoli are now moving on to Karim Adeyemi. Garnacho is still there, is still on the table, but they're now looking at other options. And I actually think maybe Napoli and Dortmund might be able to do business. By the way, Dortmund have just sacked their manager, and Nuri Sahin is funny because he was an assistant coach when I was at the Champions League final in June, became their head coach, and then got sacked after a poor run of games. But Dortmund have a very interesting kind of, I don't know, way of working, because for me, Dortmund has never been a big club. Like, I don't want to say they're not a big club, but I don't think they behave like a big club. I always look at Dortmund as a feeder club. I always look at them as a feeder club. They buy young players to sell them on for big value. And they might get, to a quarterfinals of a Champions League, and they might finish second in the league, but they don't behave like a big club. And selling Karim Adeyemi when and by the way, Jamie Gittins as well, where they don't really have the most fluid of front lines, is an interesting one to me. But regarding Napoli and Manchester United, reportedly discussions have been taking place between both of the clubs, despite the fact that they're still talking to Dortmund as well about Karim Adeyemi, for a deal in the region. And this comes from Simon Jones, by the way, a deal in the region of £50 million plus add-ons. There are talks ongoing today, as Manchester United have the executives in Italy trying to get this deal over the line. And whilst they're there, they're also trying to get Dorgu over the line, which we're going to talk about as well. Like I said, there was reports today of meetings taking place in Milan between Napoli and Manchester United, but Fabrizio Romano has literally come out in like the last hour saying that Napoli have now moved on, or are looking at as an alternative. They're looking at Karim Adeyemi. Now, it's really interesting because I cannot still believe that Napoli let Kvaratskhelia go in the middle of a title charge. Like, I'm actually quite shocked about that. Now, of course, the ball was always in his court because he wanted to leave. He wasn't going to sign a new contract. He was pushing for the move. So I get that. Please go for Adeyemi. Leave Garnacho alone. Let's focus on Baleba. Damn. Rashford will go out on loan to Barca. We're going to talk about that as well because there is some news about that. There's this conception that if you're not working for United, you are crap, and that has an effect on our sales. Ronaldo and Di Maria are still our highest sales for players. That is a very valid point. Like, Manchester United have not really sold that well, and they haven't sold that well for a long time. Minna, did we all forget about Casemiro? He's going nowhere. I literally just raised that point, talking about I understand why people can be annoyed about Garnacho potentially leaving, because we have a lot of fodder sitting at Man United right now. Like, guys, I need to actually bring this up. And thank you for bringing up this point, because today they had an open training session at Carrington ahead of tomorrow's game. They had an open training session, guys. I swear we were told that Anthony's leaving. I swear we were told there was a here we go. And yet here he is, still training at the club. United move very slow in the transfer windows, guys. It took us 3 weeks to sign Joshua, over 3.5 weeks to sign Joshua Zirkzee in the summer. United move slow. In the same breath, Man City have signed 3 players, and they're set to sign a 4th player. They're bringing in 4 players this window. I'm not even going to talk about the financial situations for both clubs because, like I said, it's different. But in terms of the pace at which they move at, it's very slow. United move at a very slow pace. The fact, 2 days ago, we were told, Fabrizio Romano said, here we go, Anthony to Real Betis. But Anthony's still training, and it's Wednesday. This is Mina calling out Fabrizio. I'm not even calling him out. I'm calling Man United out, because I'm saying that they move so slow when it comes to making moves in the window, especially when the situation for United is so dire. Now, just on the topic of moving slow in the window, or just, targets, etc., Chris Wheeler has linked 4 players to Manchester United. 4 players to Manchester United. If Rashford, Garnacho, or Kobbie Mainoo leaves. Where the hell is that Kobbie Mainoo coming from? So Manchester United reportedly are expected to move for a new forward before the end of the transfer window if any of these 3 players leave. And surprise, surprise, it's all academy players. Because why, guys? PSR. And by the end of this window, I'm going to hate hearing about PSR. But PSR, and if you want to know more about PSR and explained, I did a video about 2 weeks ago, so you can go check it out on the channel. But essentially, if they can sell Garnacho, Rashford, or Mainoo, it will allow Manchester United to move for a forward player. The 4 players that Manchester United have been linked to, well, it's interesting because they're all kind of different types of strikers, or they're different types of forwards. Mbeumo, number 1, you lot are saying why does man have a picture of Flex? He does actually look like it. Like Flex is actually quite scary. Number 1, Mbeumo. Number 2, Matheus Cunha. Number 3, Liam Delap. And number 4, none other than Jonathan David, who is actually quite funny. Jonathan David, it blows my mind about him sometimes, because every summer he's linked to leaving Lille, and this summer it might be the actual time he leaves because he's available on a free. But I don't see any big club taking him. I don't see big. I actually did, when I did a video with Sky about this, I said that I could see Jonathan David joining 3 teams, but now it's changed. Now that PSG have signed Kvaratskhelia, PSG is not a destination for him. I said he could go to Newcastle as a backup to Isaac, or West Ham sign him. Is one or the other. I personally, out of all these people, this is the guy for me. This is the guy for me. However, like I said at the beginning of the stream, Nottingham Forest are set to put in a record bid. Club record bid. I don't know what is Forest's highest club record bid. If they ain't spent like more than 40 million, then it's still an affordable price. I could see him going for 55, 60, 65. I could see that. But equally, I could see so many other clubs going for him. This is what kind of shocks me, is that if a player like Matheus Cunha is available, and I think there's a few teams in the Premier League that could do with a player like him, why are they not over it? Why are they not at least putting themselves in contention for it? Come on, minute. If United come, he ain't going Forest. Adam, you know what? Yeah, I believe in the idea of the United pool, right? But sometimes we need to bring ourselves down, I think, and be realistic. I think sometimes, bro, we have to be realistic. Right now, United it's a circus. It's a circus right now. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you got the manager just badding up people in press conferences, smashing up TVs. Jim Ratcliffe ain't happy about that. He has to fork out for a new TV. But you got that. You got United losing endless games. I do still believe, though, Adam, that United have some, what's the word? I don't want to say pull, but they got a word. They got name. They got rep. They got rep in the streets. So I still do think that maybe if United do go for him, between him and them and Forest, well, maybe he could pick United. But equally, with saying that, what's the likelihood that United would move him? This is why I'm taking everything with a pinch of salt when it comes to signing players, because the real kind of concrete news that we've heard about players, guys, that Man United are going for, it's not names, it's not household names. We got clout. There you go. We got clout. But it's not household names that we're being linked to. We're being linked to young players from RB Salzburg, a young left wing back from Lecce. I don't know how to say it, but you guys get my point. Any name that United are being linked to, it's not really like household names or household players. It's development players or players that are prospects, potentials, players with high ceilings that have a couple years of experience. That's the players that United are being. That's the players that United are being linked to. Now, on the topic of that, let's actually talk about the left wing back situation. But be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through, man. You lot know the rules. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat, and then you hit the like button, man. Come on, man. Don't be a freeloader here. But make sure you hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. And of course, you get to support the growth of the channel, the ever-growing channel. If you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. You can do that as well. And that, of course, goes a long way. Now, it's no secret, unless you've been living under a rock, it's no secret that Manchester United are in dire need of a left wing back. It's no secret. Tyrell Malacia could be on the way out. I mean, Luke Shaw reportedly should have been back in training this week, but he's not. He wasn't pictured in today's open training session. And of course, now Manchester United are moving in the window for a left wing back. Now, Fabrizio Romano reporting this morning that Manchester United's formal bid for Patrick Dorgu was worth £23 million. 23 million pounds plus add-ons. The package that Lecce wants is a package or a price of 34 million. So Man United are about 11 million off of the valuation that they want. The price, like I said, is 34 million. Package is needed. And now, if you guys have not been following this, actually, Lecce have actually moved for a new left back. So I think they might feel like Patrick Dorgu might move. Man United aren't the only club interested in him. Napoli also are interested in him. And reportedly, I saw a report yesterday evening that suggested that Napoli are happy to meet. It's Lecce, not Lecce. Lecce? Lecce. Bro, I just might have to call them that Italian team. I might just have to call them that Italian team. But anyways, back to the point of Napoli. Napoli reportedly are interested in him and also more likely to reach or meet their price tag. 34 million is an interesting one. I don't know how you lot feel about that. I don't know. I think 23 million is reasonable, plus add-ons. If they're achievable add-ons, cool. What is it if United win the Premier League? If United win Champions League, if they finish in a European position? That will probably be the kind of add-ons. If he wins, Ballon d'Or, or if he wins, like Martial had a Ballon d'Or clause. 34 million, I think, is a lot. I think that's a lot. Given the fact that for about half of that, or just over half of that, you can go and buy the guy that you so foolishly let leave. This is another thing for me about Erik ten Hag. And I know I hate bringing up Erik ten Hag because that was yesterday news. That is yesterday news. But this is another example of failure, because if you watch Alvaro Fernandez, guys, and like I said, I watched him a lot because that season I was watching a lot of our loan players because I was doing a show on United View. And I watched him a lot. And I said, after Ahmad, he had the second best loan spell. This was after, I thought he had a better loan spell than Hannibal, who was at Birmingham. I think he had a much better loan spell than Ethan Laird, who was at QPR. I said he was Preston North End's one of their better players that season. And all you had to do was watch Preston North End a couple of times to see what he was about. And I still couldn't fathom the idea that he came back from loan and still didn't even get a chance. When we didn't really have, we went and signed a guy on loan and then sent him back in December. And we still didn't play him. And then you sell him with a buyback clause because you obviously know, I think Man United knew that there would come a time that they might be interested in him again, and rightfully so. But you have that option still there. And I look at it on the flip side, and let me know your thoughts about it, guys. Do you think Alvaro Fernandez is interested in coming back to Man United? Because a lot of the time we're saying United should go and sign him. It's less than 16 million buyback. We should. Who says he wants to come back? Who says he wants to come back? Now, he might feel wrong done by Manchester United. Fab tweet about ADEYEMI. He might feel wrong done about Manchester United. And I wouldn't blame him if he feels wrong done. The only thing that they can guarantee him right now is playing time. He's just won a title, a trophy, by the way. He's just won a trophy with Benfica. Champions League football, contending for the title. Would it be regression if he comes to United? And genuinely speaking, for his career, would it be regression? And I think this is the kind of conversations we should have. Minna, do we confuse players that play well at structurally good clubs to translate it into a club in free fall? That's a good point. 100%. Naz, 100% I agree with you. Because players come to United and suddenly they don't know how to move. They don't know how to play. The things that you brought them for, the asset, like the prospect that you brought them for, or the attributes that you brought them for, suddenly they don't know how to do that when they come to United. So that is a very valid point. That is a very valid point. And with Alvaro Fernandez, yes, he might have a buyback clause. Man United also have a sell-on clause. So it could actually be maybe better for United if they just let him continue at Benfica and Benfica end up selling him 50, 60 million, whatever the price tag is. It's just hypothetical. But there's nothing to say. And this is why I said that as United fans, sometimes we have to be realistic. Because I'm seeing everyone say, oh, forget Dorgu, just go for Alvaro Fernandez. Who is to say that he'd actually want to come back to Manchester United because of how his time at Man United panned out? The fact that he had how many? Less than 2 or 3, I think, senior appearances for the club. That's it. Napoli will probably pull out of the Garnacho deal. Let's actually talk about that because Fabrizio just come through with a bit more information. I mean, not much new, but it's a bit more. It's a bit more. Some information on Karim Adeyemi and Napoli. Borussia Dortmund have received direct approach today with an opening proposal to see if they can now agree terms, to follow if they can agree terms with player side. So essentially, this is what I don't get. Why is this news? Why is this news? This ain't even news. Fabrizio is telling us, this is funny, Fabrizio is telling us that he's confirming that Dortmund have received an approach from Napoli that they will come with a proposal if they can agree terms on the player side. So right now they're talking maybe to ADEYEMI. They're on the player side, having discussions there. And then once that is agreed, they will approach to make a bid, an opening bid. What does that mean for Garnacho? What does that mean for Alejandro Garnacho? Because I don't know how you lot feel. How do you guys feel about his agent being at Chelsea versus Wolves? How do you guys feel about his agent being at Chelsea versus Wolves? Today's the day when it goes off the news websites. No, I just find it weird. Like, that's not even... But I'm not going to talk anyway. I'm not going to talk too much. Let me not say too much. But what's it called? It's called tapping up, right? I think they call it tapping up. For his agent to openly post himself at the Chelsea game, I think there's not enough fire around that, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There's not enough frustration, I think. Because if that was any other player, people would have been mad. People would have been mad. The fact that he's also agreed personal terms with Napoli already. And you know what? And I like to, like I say, guys, I always try to look at things from all perspectives. I like to look at it from all the angles. So from one angle, I understand he's just trying to put himself, or his agents, his camp is trying to put him in his best position because of his career. The ages of 20 to 23, 24, I think, is prime years of development for young players. So they probably want to put him in the best position. So they're making sure, if Napoli and United agree terms, that the personal terms won't be an issue. And then, discussing with Chelsea. Show actually says it here. I would love to sell Garnacho to Chelsea. I would really love it because they can't stand him. Honestly, guys, if Garnacho is to leave, I want him to go to Chelsea. Just because... Actually, wait, hold on. Don't hold me accountable for that. Let me actually rephrase that. A part of me agrees with Show. I would like him to go to Chelsea just because I know Chelsea fans hate him. My friend, my cousin who's a Chelsea fan, messaged me about this saying, I hope to God this is not true. And I was saying, Inshallah, Ya Rab, it's true. But for that reason, I would want him to go. But if I'm being 100% honest, I do not want him to go to a Premier League team. The same standard that I would hold any other player at United to, I will hold him to. I don't want him to go to a rival. I didn't want Jadon Sancho to go to Chelsea. Do you guys remember me and KG? Shout out to KG. We had a whole debate about it on his channel as to why United should not sell directly to rivals. Whether or not it's a player you like or dislike, whether it's a player that you think is good or is not good, we should not do business with rivals, especially when they gave us Mason Mount. I'm not even over that. So unless they're going to take Mason Mount back as part of that bid, I don't want him to go to Chelsea. Go to Napoli. I think Serie A might even be more suited for a player like him. I actually think Serie A will be more suited for him. He's a road runner like him would actually do good there. Chelsea are not our rivals. Who are our rivals? Are you going to say like Ipswich and that is our rivals? You're going to say Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester, the teams bottom of the table. You're going to say they are rivals. But the whole reason about Garnacho leaving, the whole reason that United find themselves in this position, the whole reason why United ended up with Mason Mount is because of these guys. All roads lead to the Glazers. All roads lead to the Glazers every single time. And you lot might think I'm clutching at straws, but Mark Ogden reported today that the Glazers have never wanted Manchester United. By the way, guys, the Glazers own an NFL team called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They won the Super Bowl a couple years back, I think, with Tom Brady. The Glazers never wanted Manchester United to link up with their other sports investments like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they didn't want the United squad to see how good the facilities were in America compared to theirs. The Glazers feared potential mutiny. The Glazers, I'm telling you guys, every problem United find themselves in right now, all roads lead to who? The Glazers. For their wrongdoings and the way that they've run the club. I don't necessarily agree, by the way, with what INEOS are doing. I saw that they cut more salaries of club legends, ambassador roles, etc. I don't necessarily agree with that. But my biggest worry, and let me actually bring him up on screen. My biggest worry when it comes to the way that Manchester United are being run, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, I'm really worried that we turn into a club like, okay, how do I say this? Man United's current transfer strategy since INEOS have come in has been a balance of two stuff. We've brought in young academy players, prospects, future prospects, and we've brought in young senior players, again, that are more developed but are not academy prospects. You know, we brought in Joshua Zexi, Lenny Yoro. Even like I'd say as far as Ugarte, he is a senior player with experience but still relatively on the younger side. We brought in Sekou Kone. We brought in Samuel Lasau. We've brought in this young Paraguayan guy. You know, we're linked to Patrick Dorgu. We're linked to a young guy from RB Salzburg. I'm worried that Man United might go down the path of focusing too heavily on young prospects rather than ready-made senior players. That is my biggest worry. If I was to say any worry that I had, that is my biggest worry. And for a club like maybe Brighton, who have had that kind of transfer strategy for some time now, where they recruit young players with potential as prospects, etc., develop them, that works for them. But they've also brought in players of experience. They haven't fully focused on that. I hope Man United actually focus more so on also bringing in seasoned players. You can say the same thing about Chelsea for the last 2 years. I can say the same thing about Chelsea. That is literally the same. That is literally the same. Chelsea did I think a more young, like Chelsea have the youngest, I think, average age of players in their squad in the Premier League. I think they're either first or second. They've brought in so many players till today, guys. Some of them I'm even like, who's that? When I see names pop up, this person, I'm like, who is this? I've never even seen them play for Chelsea. But that's Chelsea's problem. That was Todd Bowley's strategy and Clear Lake, whatever their name is. That was their strategy. I hope Man United don't go down that path either, because that's not what Man United were about. Man United have been a team that develop young players, but they develop them through the academy system. 8 years old, 9 years old, climb through the academy system. I've seen people talking about Ahmad, Garnacho. Are they really quotation mark academy players? Yes, they joined as teenagers, and they count as homegrown talents. But Manchester United shouldn't be treated now as a club that should focus on young talent, because they've always done that in their own academy. It's always been a thing. So I don't know this obsession that Jim Ratcliffe has with, I don't want to, when he joined Man United, I don't know if you lot remember, he said, I don't want to sign Mbappe. I want to sign the next Mbappe. Bring me Mbappe. I don't want to wait 5 years for the next Mbappe. Bring me Mbappe now. That was my thought process at the time. I didn't agree with him fully. But now that I look at Man United's January transfer kind of strategy, or the reports of the January transfer strategy, and I look at the way that the summer has panned out, I really do think United are being true to their word, where they're going down the route of signing young talents with the hopes of them becoming the next superstar. I don't know if you guys feel that should be the case. I feel like for every one young talent, you should sign like 2 or 3 senior players. Like maybe I'm being dramatic. I think because young players don't bring an entitled behavior like senior big name. Yeah, I guess money comes into it. But how likely are, guys, let's be honest, yeah. In football, there's generational, there's GOAT status, generational, superstar, good, yeah. How likely are United going to, for every academy or every young player they sign, how likely are they going to be a generational talent? Because I think generational talent, you look at, for me, from Mbappe bursting onto the scene, 17, 18 at Monaco, I think the next talent that we've seen of that level is Lamine Yamal. And how many years later was that? 7 years later? I don't think Man United are going to hit jackpot every single time. I genuinely don't think that. Maybe I'm being negative. Well, maybe you guys might think I'm being negative, but I'm trying my best to be realistic. And that is why I don't think the approach should always focus on young players. You should only focus on young talent if the talent is actually there. United fan base romanticize every young player that comes through. I agree. I don't think that they romanticize. I think there's just high expectations all the time. That's it. Generational means one player every 10 to 20 years. Yeah, that's why I say Lamine Yamal is a generational talent for me. Him and Mbappe are not like 10 years apart. Near enough they are, I think. Are they? Yeah, I think they're about. No, they're not. They're not. Just less than that. But I do think it's very rare to see a generational talent every time you sign a young player. I agree, but you don't have to pay crazy wages. Casemiro, to me, was the player that destroyed us, bringing in big name players. The Casemiro signing for me is always an interesting one because at the time, let's be honest, guys, we were all gassed. We were all gassed because United were dire. The midfield was dead. We just got batted up by Brighton and Brentford. But I just never understood how United moved from Frankie de Jong to Casemiro. That is a thing that I just never understood. Two different types of profile players. Casemiro would have been nice a couple of years earlier. But Real Madrid, let's be honest, guys. Real Madrid only sell players when they're done with them. When they're done with them. Let's be honest. They only sell them when they are done with them. Tchouaméni, I think, might be on the chopping list soon for Real Madrid. I actually think they might get rid of Tchouaméni. Let me see what you lot are saying. I remember United fans getting gassed by Chong and Shortire. Both were absolutely horrid. Let's keep it 100. Let's be honest, though. How many academy players have come through United in the last 5 years that we could say was actually really good? I can name a few. I could really name a few. Even the other guy, Savage. One for me that got away is, I forgot his name. My mind has just gone blank. But he's at Everton. Garner for me was the player that got away. Not Truman and Madrid sold Robin and Schneider when they were still good. Sorry, let me see. Let me specify. I'm talking about right now, Real Madrid. Right now, Real Madrid only sell. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. He went on to Juve, banged in goals at Juve, went on to United, still playing at Saudi now. So it's not necessarily the case. But I do feel like when they're done with players, if Real Madrid is selling a player, you shouldn't like be first to jump on it. That's my point. Because there's a reason why they must be selling it. We should adapt the Arsenal style of an Odegaard type of player. Arda Güler would be great. Do United fans have the patience for a player like Arda Güler? That's the question. Do United fans have the patience? Because he's a young player, in and out of Real Madrid's team. I think he hasn't even been started. I think Brahim Diaz has been starting over him since Vinicius has been out and Rodrigo's been on the left. I don't think United fans have the patience. And when I say that, I'm talking about myself too, guys. I'm talking about myself. I'm indirecting myself. Even Garner is average, though. He doesn't even start week in, week out for a horrible Everton team. But I feel like Everton, under Sean Dyche, he was just obsessed with PMP in the team, especially in the midfield. They had Abdoulaye Doucouré, Anana, the other guy, Idris Gana Gaya. I think he was just obsessed with the idea of PNP. But let's talk about this guy. Well, he's aged a lot, guys. Poor guy. Poor guy has aged a lot in the space of 2 months. Now, if you guys have been living under a rock, like I said, he said a lot of heavy stuff in the press conference after the game. Now it all makes sense, though. Everything does make sense for me. Because it came out reports about him mashing up the TV in the dressing room, having a go at the players, to a point where they got upset and some cried. Who do you think cried, guys? I don't want to speculate. You know me, I'm not one to speculate. But who do you think cried? Because when I saw that, I was like, whoa. I said, crying over what? Kind of manager's calling you crap? I don't think it was Maguire. I don't think it was Maguire because he came out and did the press conference today with Amorim. United job is on the same level of president of the United States of America. Stress is crazy. If Trump can be president in America, then maybe I could be Man United manager. Euro? Nah, I don't think Euro. You lot saying Bruno. Bruno don't strike me as a crier. Bruno does not strike me as a crier. I'm genuinely trying to think, you know. Who do you think cried? I think it might have been Mazraoui. I think it might have been Mazraoui, guys. Big up for the super chat, bro. Or sis, I appreciate it. I might stop supporting Chelsea if Garnacho bump. That is such a mean name. That is such a mean name. I haven't seen one Chelsea fan happy with the idea of signing Garnacho. It's crazy. And that makes me want him to go to Chelsea even more. Mazraoui is a proud Maghribi man. He doesn't cry. Everyone's saying Onana. You lot are all saying Onana or Dallo or Bruno. Well, okay, so let's actually get into it. So reportedly, he mashed up the TV. I know for a fact, by the way, Jim Ratcliffe is pissed that he has to fork out for a new TV. He's probably thinking, shit, they're probably thinking, INEOS probably thinking, shit, what costs more, buying a new TV for the dressing room or paying for it to get fixed? That's what they're probably thinking. And now they're probably going to come back to the dressing room for the next home game, and they've probably just taped over the cracks like this and said it's fixed. Big up to Riri. Big up, sis, man. I hope you're doing well. Says, bless up, Minna, and all the minions. Big up for the super chat. I appreciate it. Minna, I swear I love your channel. Come on, man. I appreciate it, man. We're just here to chat shit, guys. We're just here to chat shit. Ollie Masterclass at Besiktas. What is the likelihood? What is the likelihood that we meet Besiktas at some point in the Europa League? What is the... And that's actually bold of me to assume that United are going to get far in the Europa League. Probably old TV needed changing years ago. I bet you any money. This is the TV they got. I bet you any money, guys. This is the TV they got. If they're saying, if Cristiano Ronaldo said, yeah, that they still had like the same swimming pool and that, this is the TV that he probably smashed up. This is the TV. And you know what? If he punched this TV or he dashed a remote, I bet you any money more damage was done to his hand than the TV. Because these TVs are no joke. These TVs are no joke, yeah? You can drop it on the floor from the table and it'll still work. TV got to pull the antenna up. Guys, you don't even know. If you did not grow up like this, then you grew up in a life of luxury, yeah? But you don't know the pain of having an antenna and trying to put it in the right place so that you can just watch TV and it's not blurry. You don't know pain if you did not do that. Because when I was younger, my first TV I had in my room, it was something like this, slightly bigger. And it had a antenna, and I used to put the antenna like on top of my cupboard, like in the most weirdest angles. I'm standing it on top of like a book, and it's tilting off the cupboard just so that I could watch TV. Just so that I could watch TV. This is probably the TV that they had. I don't care. You have to get up to change the channel. The worst thing is when the buttons, you know these buttons inside here, guys. You see the buttons here. When one falls out, you have to use a knife to press it because the button has fell out. It's broken now. Now you getting a knife to just change the channel. Long. This is why kids nowadays, they don't like my nieces and nephews, bro. They laugh at us now about, obviously everyone has Sky and all of that, but I'm like, you don't know of the struggle of having 5 channels. You don't know the struggle of having 5 channels and watching TV with an antenna. And you know what the worst thing is? If you grew up with siblings, guys, if you grew up with siblings and you argue with your sibling about the television or about what to watch, say no more. I'm just gonna mash up the antenna. I'm just gonna push it. I'm just going to move the antenna slightly. And now you can't watch what you wanted to watch. If I'm not watching TV, none of us are watching TV. How about that? No HDMI or audio. Oh, my days. Do you guys remember the free, it had the 3 colors, yellow, red, and black, I think it was. Damn, Riri said, yo, back home, I used to have to climb on the roof to turn on the antenna. But you win. Hey, guys, Riri wins. Riri wins. I ain't climbing no roof. I draw the line at putting the antenna on top of my cupboard. Oh man, Minna, you don't know the struggle of Walkmans where you had to turn the tape over to rewind using fast forward. You don't know the struggle of turning the tape. Like growing up, my mom used to listen to Quran in the house all the time, and it was tape. And she'll tell me, take the tape out and rewind it and turn it so that I can go to the other side. And I'm sitting there with a pencil like this, just screwing it to rewind it. It's long. It's long. A TV in your room. We had one TV between 5 houses. To be honest, I only got a TV in my room like when I was like 11 or 12. But at that point, most of us had TVs in our room. But yeah, growing up when I was younger than that, I never had a TV. But anyway, let's get back, guys. This is why I love the channel, man, because we just get sidetracked, start talking about random stuff. We start talking about random stuff. But this is the TV that I think Ruben Amorim mashed up in the dressing room. And he was asked today after the press conference about not only his comments but also about the situation in the dressing room. He didn't confirm anything, by the way. So this is how it went. Shout out to United Menace, yeah, because United Menace, I saw a lot of people getting onto him or her about the news. United Menace was the first person to break it about what happened in the dressing room. And then Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic came out a couple of hours later to kind of confirm it. Didn't say anything about people crying, but did say about the fact that a TV was broken and it was a TV that they used for tactical analysis. Apparently, he issued a furious critique to the team after losing 3-1 to Brighton, with the TV used for tactical analysis caught in the crossfire. Reportedly, Amorim reportedly stays silent after matches and delivers feedback the next day, but on that day he couldn't contain himself. I can't imagine how angry he was. Now he was asked today, fast forward today, press conference before the Rangers game, he was asked about why he reacted in the moment and whether it was a calculated move, and he said, no, it wasn't. I don't think so. I'm a young guy and sometimes I make a mistake, and that's why I don't usually talk after the game. At least he's quite aware of himself. So he's saying, I don't talk after the game because he probably loses it. He's Portuguese, bro. I'm not surprised. He then went on to say, this game, I had to talk and maybe it was a mistake. And then I come to the press conference and I'm more nervous. And you say things I shouldn't say. That's it. Sometimes I'm a young guy. I make mistakes. And this is what made me laugh, what he said, guys. He says, I don't promise you I won't do it again, but I will try and improve. He's basically saying, I might do it again. He said, I might do it again. And I rate him for saying that I don't promise you I won't do it again. Because he's basically letting the players know next time it's not the TV, it might be a boot to your head. Sir Alex Ferguson style. And I am not condoning violence. Let me just put that out there. Let me put it out there. I am not condoning violence. But he's basically saying, I'm not telling you like I'm not going to do it again, because he probably knows it's probably going to get even worse. I think he knows United are going to have even worse performances over the next 5 months. And I rate him for that. He also said, I was talking more, and he was asked about his comments about this being the worst Man United squad ever. And he said, I was talking more about myself than the players. You find a coach, he's talking about himself. You find a coach who starts losing 7 games in the first 10. He's talking about himself. He went on to say, I understand I gave you a headline and I'm frustrated sometimes, but I should not say that in those terms. Sometimes it's really hard to hide the frustration in the moment. But the good thing is I said the same things in a different way in the dressing room 5 minutes before. The response was quite normal because I'm very blunt with my players and they now train very well. I don't give a shit if they trained well. I don't care. But I have a question for you guys, actually. I have a question for you guys. Do you agree with this kind of behavior from the manager? Because I don't know, I've been seeing like a lot of criticisms about the way that he maybe has conducted himself after the Brighton game. Like I said, Carragher ripped into him on Monday Night Football with Emmanuel Petit. I've seen other people criticizing him online, saying this is not it. The manager shouldn't be doing this. And I want to know, where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line? Public criticism like this, is that okay from the manager? I don't think the manager's, by the way, saying anything that we don't know. Like, he's not really giving us any insight into maybe something that United fans don't know. We know this is a crap team. What does Karen know? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But yeah, I don't think it's bad. I did look at it. I tried, like I said, I always try to look at things from both sides. So I tried to think of what the player's perspective would be. But if he's saying that in press conferences, I imagine that he's probably saying 10 times worse in the dressing room, guys. And we will never know what is being said unless someone leaks it. But we won't really know what's being said. So if he's saying that in the public eye, and he did actually say, I'm giving you a headline. So he kind of knew he was giving people clickbaity stuff. But I would much rather he says this, or I'd much rather he says this than to A, gaslight us, or B, throw players under the bus in terms of singling out people. I'm glad he's saying collectively, this is a crap squad. Because we all know it is. We know it is. Like, it's no secret. Amorim is smart. He's not going down like the rest of the managers who lied before him and lost their jobs for it. Tell the truth, Ruben. He's a very truthful guy. He does seem a bit truthful. But I do wonder, when does he stop the truth and start being delusional? I hope he never becomes that, by the way. I hope he never becomes that. But that's why I say INEOS are setting him up to fail if they don't back him in the transfer window. If they don't back him this transfer window, or even in the summer, I mean, let's be honest. Do you guys think United are going to finish in top 4? I don't. I don't think United are finishing top 8, top 7. Well, what is it? Top 7 to get European football? I don't think United are finishing that. I don't even want to see United in Conference League. Don't want to see them in Europa League. Don't want to see them in Champions League. And people have actually said, some people have said to me, I'm a wrongun for saying that. But why would you want to see United in their quotation mark first phase, or like their first full, off the back of their first full summer? Why would you want to see them immediately in European football? Just to get our hopes up and then get humiliated again? I don't even care about Europa League. Like, if United win Europa League, great. But that won't paper over the cracks for me. I know what the problems are. I know what the problems are. We know what the issue is. We know what the issue is. Right now, not even top 10. Right now, United are just focused, I think, on getting 42 points. Like, generally speaking, I think United are 42 points is the target for them. But that's why I say INEOS have to, this window, if Dorgu is the only player that comes in, that's bad. That is really, really bad. We actually have some news on everybody's favorite person. Is he everyone's favorite person? Do I have news on it? Thought I did. Oh, we do. Everyone's favorite person. Everyone's favorite person. Top four was never on the cards for me this season. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I said United had to finish in top 4. But now that, when Erik ten Hag got sacked, it changed the entirety of my view of the season. I kind of took back all my my predictions or expectations for the season. I said Marcus Rashford 20+ goals in all comps. Now we've probably seen the last of him. Mina loves Rashford. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. But reportedly, Marcus Rashford's camp had a meeting with Barcelona's director Deco. This comes from Fabrizio Romano, by the way. He had a meeting with Deco. Barcelona are keen on signing Rashford, and he's open to the move, but it depends on exits from specific players such as Eric Garcia or Ansu Fati. Fun fact, Eric Garcia then went on to score yesterday. I think it was the late equalizer for Barcelona against Benfica. So I don't think they might let go of him. It's gone from AC Milan being the target, or him being the target for AC Milan, to them choosing Kyle Walker. And that just shows to me that AC Milan's problems at right back are a bigger problem than their problems in the front line. That's it. Because they prioritize signing Kyle Walker over signing Marcus Rashford, and they only had one spot in terms of their non-EU quota in Europe. So that puts AC Milan out of it. Borussia Dortmund want Marcus Rashford, but the wages are too much. It's nearly £8 million. They don't want to pay that. I'll be shocked if they even want to pay half of that. The only other option for him, and it's actually been his favoured option, is Barcelona. Barcelona will probably have to trigger another lever to bring him in. Or they expect players to leave, which is unlikely because Barcelona, I don't know. I feel like they don't really sell like that, especially in the January transfer window. They've got a front line, I think, that doesn't need a Marcus Rashford. Maybe for depth purposes, they might need a Marcus Rashford, but I don't think they need a Marcus Rashford as a starter. And now his camp have kind of shared stories with the media oh, Marcus Rashford doesn't mind staying. He's working hard. Today, I don't know if you guys saw the open training session from Manchester United, where it was open to media. Let me see if I can actually try to find it. But there was a lot of Marcus Rashford PR. There was a lot of, oh, Marcus Rashford, all smiles. Marcus Rashford, all smiles. It's like they're trying to let us know he's happy where he is. He's happy where he is. He does not mind staying. But I have a question for you guys. Any deal going to be late into the window when United get desperate and pay more of his wage for the loan? What happens when he goes to Arsenal, guys? What happens when he goes to Arsenal on deadline day? Remember when Ansu Fati had a 1 billion release clause? This is why I laugh at Barcelona all the time. And I'm sorry if you're a Barcelona fan, because I think I got a few subscribers who are Barcelona fans. I laugh at them because of that. Arsenal will probably make a late bid for Rashford. They could do. But just on the topic of Rashford quickly, would you be happy for him to be... What would you guys prefer? Well, this is a better question. What would you prefer? For him to... If he doesn't stay in the January... If he doesn't leave, in the January transfer window, would you prefer Marcus Rashford to be reintegrated back into the squad where he's playing? Or would you just want him out of the matchday squad up until the summer? And then Man United try to sell him in the summer. What would be your preference for this entire situation? Because I think if Man United do not sell him, they have effed up big time. If they don't sell him, they have effed up big time, because you cannot have an asset sitting out for this long. You can't. You cannot have an asset sitting out from February to June. You can't. And if you're not going to play him and you're going to pay his wages, you are better off paying his wages and letting him go on loan somewhere. But equally with saying that, if Man United sell Garnacho and they let Anthony go on loan, surely Marcus Rashford, if he stays, has to play. They dug their own grave when they exiled him. Riri says they have to play him if he doesn't want to go this window. I agree. I don't think the manager will play him, though. The manager has made it clear he won't play him. Needs to go this window. But you know what's interesting, guys? And I'm just doing this, like, I want to be devil's advocate and I want to hear what you guys have to say. When Ruben Amorim speaks about Rashford, I feel like there's more to what we know. Because he's saying, oh, if it's not for the if the player's not right for the squad, then he won't be part of the matchday squad. Has he done something wrong? Because he's still training. But are you saying that he's not training well enough to be in the squad? Are you, as the manager, are you making a collective decision that you don't like him? Like you don't like what he has to offer, so you don't want him? Is INEOS kind of pushing him out? What is it? What is it? I need to know. And that's why I can't wait for him to leave, so then the Athletic can do the tell-all article about inside Marcus Rashford, his departure from Manchester United. Give him to Arsenal. I need the Arsenal fans meltdown when he's their deadline day signing. United should have cashed in when PSG was heavily linked to him. I don't think PSG was ever linked to him, because if PSG wanted him, they would have took him. Like, it's as simple as that. PSG could have took him in the summer where he was renewing his contract. He had 1 year left on his deal. They could have took him then. He wouldn't have cost a lot because he wasn't on a big contract. He wasn't on a 300k salary. They could have took him. I don't think, and I know I did a lot of videos about it at the time, but I always said I don't think there's anything tangible to this interest at PSG, because PSG, when they want a player, they will sign him. They will get him. Example, Kvaratskhelia. Example, Desire Doué. Desire Doué had the option of going to PSG and Bayern Munich. PSG, he was going to be in and out of the lineup with Barcola. They had Dembele. They had Kolo Muani, obviously, in the summer. If he went to Bayern Munich, he would have probably been more likely the starter on the left-hand side, because they would have had Elise. He chose PSG. When PSG want a player, they will get him. So this idea that United should have cashed in, they should have, if the interest was legit. That's my opinion. But Mbappe was playing out on the wide-hand side. Wide-hand side? Wide-hand side. Left-hand side. Wide side. Did I just mix two stuff together? I mixed left-hand side and wide side. And I said wide-hand side. Anyways, you guys know what I mean, innit? Mbappe was playing on the left. Rashford was never playing through the middle. They had Gonzalo Ramos and they had Kolo Muani. Albeit both of them turned out to be crap transfers for PSG. He was never going to play on the left. Words are hard sometimes, Minna. Don't stress it. It is. If you lot don't know, I say it all the time, but when I was younger, I had a speech problem for a couple of years, like for actually for a long time, up until I was about 8, 9 years old. It looks like West Ham loan is the best outcome deadline day. Do you think so? Do you think so? Minna wants Rashi to stay confirmed. I said this already when the news broke nearly a month ago, guys. The news broke nearly a month ago about Marcus Rashford wanting to leave. I said at the time, it's the best situation for him and the club. I actually said it was the best thing for him to leave in the summer when he was linked to potentially leaving. You had a speech impediment when as a kid. Yes, I did. I struggled to say a lot of words and specific sounds. I really struggled. And I had a speech therapist in school. Fun fact, man. Fun fact, guys. But we'll see kind of how this Rashford news pans out. I'm more interested, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't think I really care about the Rashford thing. I'm more interested to see how this Garnacho thing plays out. Because if Napoli are truly moving for Karim ADEYEMI at Dortmund, then United have to force the hand of Chelsea if they want to sell. They have to force the hand of Chelsea. But we can wait and see. Before we wrap it up, guys, Garnacho price tag. What are you guys willing to take for him? If Chelsea come knocking, if Napoli come knocking, the original bid from Napoli. Let me actually get it up on here. The original bid from Napoli was in the region of 50 million, plus add-ons. Please stop mentioning Chelsea. And Garnacho, I'm in pain. I keep asking this question. If the player don't want to go, how are any of these sales happening? Garnacho wants to go. He wants to leave. It's reported that he's agreed personal terms with Napoli and he's open to the idea of joining Chelsea. His preference is Chelsea, reportedly. His agent was at the Chelsea Wolves game on Monday. As soon as the news kind of broke that Chelsea were interested in him. 55, 50 to 60, 65 with add-ons up to 80. Get them. I don't want to sell Garnacho for less than 100 million. We deserve better, do better. 50 million plus will do some, plus add-ons. Imagine we offload Rashford to Arsenal, Chelsea to Garnacho. Beautiful. Is it really? Is it really? My biggest worry, guys, is that we sell all our attackers and now we got no one. And then we're forced to bring Chido Obi Martin or something from the academy because we have no forwards. Are you guys not worried? Like, come on, guys. Is no one worried about the potential prospect of letting all our forwards go when we have no one in the forward line? Like, I think people are not deep in it. I actually think we're not deep in it enough. If Garnacho leaves, yeah, the biggest failure will be is if Garnacho leaves and United don't bring in two forwards. Because if you're letting Anthony go, and I'm not saying Anthony was carrying the weight of the front line, but it was an option that you had off the bench. Now you're suddenly saying we're going to have a bench of academy players. That's actually unfair on the academy players. If Garnacho leaves, please play another up front. You know what? That sounds like a shout. That sounds like a shout. Sell Garnacho, then you need to sign 2 replacements, 1 star and 1 off the bench, but let him go for anything. I agree. If Garnacho goes, bring me 2 players. If United actually signed that young player from RB Salzburg, his name was Nene something. If they signed that young player from RB Salzburg, you need to bring me another experienced forward. That's what I want. But hey, you don't always get what you want in life. So we got to be cautious. But you don't always get what you like. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. What do we have coming for the next couple of days on the channel? We will have, what's happening? I don't even know what the days are, firstly. Today is Wednesday. We will have a match reaction. PSG versus Man City. I should have done one for Barcelona, but I couldn't be bothered. So we'll have a match reaction for PSG versus Man City. Tomorrow, obviously, we'll have a match reaction after the game. We'll have daily dose of Minna before the game for build-up, etc., etc. Friday, we'll have a video basically every day. We'll probably have another video as well, another live stream on Saturday as well, because there is no 12:30 kickoff. Sunday, I need to double check. Sunday, I can't do a watch along for Manchester United women because they're playing at the same time as the men. so I can't do that. But I'll probably do a match reaction to both of them separately. Call in. You know what it is, guys? I'm just lazy. Like, honestly speaking, I do so much, guys. And just schedule it, like, because I'm doing a lot more videos, etc. I'll do a call in before the end of the month. Turkish media saying that Napoli swap deal with cash for Garnacho and Osimhen. What? Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Let me go see. I should have asked someone I know. I know John Obi Mikel's agent, yeah? And he was interviewing Victor Osimhen yesterday. I should ask his agent, John Obi Mikel's agent, if he can ask Victor Osimhen if it's true. FFTV. I've never heard of them. There's only one Turkish media that I listen to. When I type in FFTV, Forest Fan TV comes up. I didn't know Forest Fans had a fan channel. I might actually start watching them. Shout out to them. I actually might start watching them. But yeah, listen, guys, why am I getting sidetracked? But make sure you guys hit the like button, especially if you are watching this back as well. We got a lot of content coming on the channel, like I said, so make sure you guys stay locked in. Turn on your post notifications, so when I go live or when I post a video, you get notified. We're doing a lot more non-Man United content, but obviously the Man United content will still be consistent on the channel. Premier League over the weekend, so there'll be content after that. Champions League tonight, there'll be content after that as well. So make sure you guys hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. I hope you have a wonderful evening, whatever you guys get up to. I'll be back inshallah tomorrow with the daily dose of Mina. I'm out. Have a good one, guys. Peace.